In this video, we will now assemble the complete slide. We have it all in pieces as far as you can go, so let's put it together. It is not this part, that is a different video. If you need to do something on the lower, click the other assembly video. The first thing we will do is putting the bucking inside of the sleeve, and for that we will actually use the barrel. If you look inside the bucking, you will see the patch that's gonna be sitting here on the cutout and the rib on the opposite side, which will go in the rib here on the bottom of the barrel. So you need to make sure that you are placing it correctly, and you will kind of feel it click in place here on the bottom part where the rib is. I always like to check it by slightly rotating it. If it doesn't rotate, it means the rib is locked in place. Now we will take the sleeve like so. Here is the bigger opening. Here is the smaller one. We don't want to go through this one. And first place in the rib like so and slowly wiggle it in. We don't want to damage anything. We just want to kind of use the barrel to seat it in place. We will now wiggle it around and you will see that everything is nice and aligned and the rib is also in the cutout. We will slightly wiggle it a little bit more to make sure that it's just nice and centered. All right, that's how you put the bucking on. Now, if you haven't removed the O-ring from the barrel, now it's a good time because we will be placing it back here. If you watched the disassembly, you know that this O-ring can make our life a little harder. So I'm gonna take a small little flathead screwdriver, gonna get underneath, and I'm just gonna remove it for now. And now it's gonna be easy to slide it inside of the chamber. Here is the TDC, here is the TDC. So it's gonna go in like this. We will make sure that the window is aligned. We can actually use this block to lock it in place. You see, now it doesn't want to go all the way in. Hopefully you can see it on the camera. It doesn't want to go in. That means I need to rotate the barrel, and then you will feel it click in place and go quite deep. It will also engage with the bucking, so it's gonna be a little bit spongy. Maybe I can show you. I can push it down and it's going back up. Now we lock the set screw on the bottom of the barrel, and that will keep everything in place. Now do not over tighten this one, because you could actually damage the barrel, which is not what we want. Once you feel a little bit of a resistance, stop. That is enough to lock it in place. Also, this block is locking it in place. Now you can take a look inside of the barrel. If you've overdone it, you will be seeing a dent from the bottom. So make sure there is no dent, and if you do it carefully, there will be none. We can place the O-ring back on the barrel, and we can put this barrel on top of it. The O-ring provides friction and it centers the barrel, but it can also be a little hard to put it on. Depending on the state of the O-ring, you might find yourself having a little bit of trouble. Don't worry, in that case, what you can use is any silicone oil, any lubricant that is not eating rubber. Silicone oil is fine for that. You just put a little bit of on the outside, make sure it doesn't go anywhere inside. You just lube it a little bit, and now it's gonna be much easier to slide it on. And we just screw it in place. All right, that would be the barrel for now. I will clean up a little bit and we move on. Now we will put the nozzle back in place, so we can start with the actual seal. Here we see there is a little nub, so that is the seal side. We will just screw it on. Make sure the threads are aligned. I like to go a few rotations back, and once I hear that the thread aligned or feel, I'm gonna start screwing in to make sure I don't damage the threads. Push it all the way on so it's seated, and now we can tighten the rest of the screw. Just like that. Now we will attach it to the back plate. We basically just put the screw through the hole. We take the correct bit. And now we can screw it in. Make sure the set screw on the side is still out. It should still be out if you followed the disassembly video. And we tighten it. Now, if you watch the disassembly video, this part was actually freely moving. If you tighten it too much, it will not be able to move and it can cause issues because it's misaligned with the nozzle. We want to prevent that, and for that, we just slightly undo the screw so it can slightly move. It doesn't need much, it should just freely spin in the end. Now we take an Allen key, a smaller one, and we put the set screw back in place. That will prevent the big screw to undo itself over time. All right, there we go. And now it can freely spin without actually loosening the screw. Now we take these two pieces and we put them together. You have to spread the black part a little bit apart until it clicks in place and can move like this. And you put it in like so. Now we have the spring. This fat end that you can hopefully see will go towards the front of the nozzle because that part is not moving, which is exactly what we want. And now we can take this whole thing, keep your finger on there so the spring doesn't jump out, and we carefully slide it inside of the housing or the slide. We align it so it's flush here in the back, and we put the rear side back on with the big flathead screwdriver. Again, use a rather bigger one that doesn't damage the fiber optic, and we screw it back in place. There are still some residues of the screw glue that was there before. If not, optional, you can put weak screw glue on there so this one doesn't come loose while you are shooting. If there is nothing on the screw anymore, put a little bit of screw glue there. It is the better way because it will not come loose. Now what we do is we check if the nozzle is springing back in place. If it moves freely, it should do exactly this. If it doesn't, if it stays stuck like this, then the screw in the back is too tight. What you can do, don't worry, you don't have to disassemble it completely. You take the bigger Allen key bit, you rotate it until you see this set screw, you loosen the set screw, you make everything a little bit more loose, and you tighten the set screw again, and then you check. Bottom line, what you want to see is that the nozzle is returning freely. All right, now with that out of the way, we are pretty much done. This will take us just a couple of minutes. We will need the barrel now. We slide the barrel in place. We put the slide also where it belongs, like so. And now we need to put the spring guide with the spring back in place. So first we'll go the spring, then we will insert the spring guide just to get it started and kind of hold it in place a little better. We will work our way there. And now what we want to do is to grab everything, pull it out, and we need to place the buffer in the correct position back inside. You see there is a little notch. That one will go towards the barrel, and the rubber will sit on the rear side of the replica. So exactly like so. There is the cutout. So I'm just gonna place it here, align everything, let the spring go, and now I'm gonna make sure that everything's aligned. I'm gonna slightly catch the thread, and before I completely tighten it, I don't want to pinch the rubber. So what I'm gonna do is first I'm gonna take the correct sized bit, which is this one. And before I tighten it, I'm gonna pull the rubber with the spring over the spring guide to make sure that it's not catching it. Just like that. I want the rubber all the way out so I don't pinch it inside of the thread, just like you can see. And now I can tighten it. Once it's tight, let it go. Tighten it a tiny bit more, and we are almost done. Next thing we can do is place this cover back in. Also, there is one more screw. All of these are the same size, so once again, we will take the correct size bit and tighten all of them. This one, 3-finger tight, as I like to call it. Not too much. Definitely don't over tighten these. If you damage the thread, no good. So now just double checking it a little bit, and that's all we need. Now we can also put back in the TDC screw to about being flush. And now we can put these two together. So simply align everything, slide it on, don't use force. You see that it's getting a little bit stuck. The only thing you need to do is to push the sear here, and then it will go easily on. Now, if you didn't remove this, which you shouldn't, it will be a little, will require a tiny bit of force maybe. And now we are almost done. Last thing is this piece. So again, we need to align the notch here with the notch here on this part. And again, it will be very easy to put it back if everything is aligned. There we go. That's it. That's how you assemble the top slide of the SSP5.